Yeah. At that point, we were functioning on fumes and backups.
Yeah. Who Florida State has next?
Boston College this week, and then it gets tougher.
Is Miami what is in what late is in November?
Later part of the year. I think November, because it's we go Boston College, then it's like Wake Forest, Clemson, and NC State.
Mm.
So then I think Miami's somewhere. But I think after that 3-game run we have like a softie, and then maybe Miami and something like that.
Okay. Should be interesting.
Miami's not that good. And that Van Dyke guy.
I saw him lose. I saw that game.
Van Dyke's not good.
Most of that game.
Yeah, I watched most of that game, but I ended up watching most of your game.
Yeah,
because it was a better game. I mean, it's a better game for the neutral.
Yeah, better game for the neutral.
We live now?
Yeah.
All right.
We're on, man. I am interested to see how the season unfolds.
For the Gators, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the big Tennessee matchup.
Yeah, we're like, I think I saw 10-point underdogs or something. Let me see.
Really?
No, I know we were underdogs. I forgot how many.
10's pretty heavy.
10.5.
Jesus Christ.
I know I saw that.
That's a slap in the face.
No, Tennessee is good. They've had our number.
Have they beat you guys last year?
Not last year, but but they've done well. Them and Kentucky against us. Maybe they did beat us last year.
Younger music.
Being that I'm here right now, I'ma go and get it right now, get committed right now. I'ma do some shit that's gonna uplift a bunch of people's spirit right now, help them heal it right now. I'ma get them riches right now. Work plan, manifest, be speak that shit into existence right now. Can't slow down, got the vision wrote down, cause I seen it, man, I'm on right now. Focus in the motherfuckers where I'm in the zone right now. Ain't no later, dog, it's only right now.
And it's only right now.
It creates.
Right now.
No past, no future right now. All I got is right now. No past, no future right now. All I got is right now. Fuck what they did to me, gon' do, cause all I get is right now. Fuck what they did to me, gon' do, cause all I get is right now. So I focus on that when I can focus on now. Pull up at a beach on the outskirts of town. Enjoy the view and give thanks to the truth. And I go hit the yo just to shut that bitch down.
And I'm high right now. So alive right now. Clear skies right now. Living my life by my own rules. I feel what I choose.
Straight and narrow, but it's just straight and narrow.
Younger music.
Do it now. Gonna take some work, okay? And I'm right back at it. Divine alignment, fully automatic. I don't think about it. I just watch it happen. I just move toward it and I get supported. When I try to force it, it just get distorted. So I dance with it. Crystals all in my pants with it. Healing all in my hands with it. I'm an alchemist. I'm a master. I'm a rabbi. I'm a sensei. I'm a bad guy. I'm an alien. I'm an animal. I'm a cannibal. I'm so handsome, no. Yo.
And I'm high right now. Can barely open my eyes right now.
And that money we making it. Climbing these ladders and laying foundation, that's masonry. This shit is different, cause my dreams are literally chasing me. Grateful for where life is taking me. I'm living life, that's to say the least. Only true beauty can tame the beast. Only true love can tame that beast.
Are you here with me right now? Right now. Vibe with me. Vibe with me right now. Right now, yeah.
You guys are back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. Pink, what's going on, my man?
Not much. I'm on fire today.
On fire?
Yeah.
You're on fire.
I
and
feel
I'm
spunky.
on fumes, man.
Are you? Really?
Yeah, man.
Fire nights. Fumes and fire.
On the Bench podcast is available on all podcast streaming platforms, home of sports, music, and mayhem. And we have a little bit of all that today, man.
Good.
You got Robert Sarver selling the team. He's starting that process. You have a lot of stuff going on in the NFL. ESPN has released their top 100 in the NBA. You got quite a bit of stuff going on, my man.
Yeah. The Sarver thing is interesting. I was critical of the league. I thought they mishandled it, but this is almost one of those ones. When I was coaching, we'd call them self-cuts, where you'd kind of create a situation where a player could see the writing on the wall, and it became like a self-cut where they lost interest and they bailed out before you actually had to cut them. And I think that's the way the NBA played it. This guy realizes, hey, man, this is not for me. It's not sustainable. I'm going to be this outcast in the league. I'm going to catch a bunch of shit for this. Why don't I just cash out?
Yeah, I think so, too.
It makes it easy.
I think he would have weathered the storm, though.
He would have, because the league didn't show the willingness to force him out.
Yeah.
But again, maybe they kind of felt this. Maybe they read it and were like, hey, this guy's, if he gets enough flack, it's just going to be an easier thing for him to move on, which appears what he's going to do.
It would be nice if they gave it to if they gave it to a black woman like Oprah or something.
Fuck Oprah, man. I don't want Oprah in the league. There's other black women. Did you know that?
No, there are, but I mean, I don't know how many has more money than her. That's the.
You could have like a consortium of money. I don't know. Give it to Michelle Obama. At least I'd want to fuck her. What the hell?
No, but
you don't want Oprah.
I hope it goes to somebody of a minority, because just don't have a lot of that. I'm trying to think right now. Do we have any black owners in NBA?
Michael Jordan.
I don't know if that counts.
Oh, really? Why doesn't that count?
Is there anyone else?
There's say, I hate to say this, they're minority owners. There's Grant Hill has a piece of the Hawks.
Well, I know that,
yeah,
but I'm talking about a majority.
Yeah, the majority owner. Right now, I believe Michael Jordan's the only one.
Yeah, we need some more of that.
No, I agree with you, and I hope that they do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it may be like a consortium of people and not just a single owner.
Yeah.
So
because these, like you said, it's going to sell for. I mean,
probably a couple billion.
Yeah.
I
who has that in liquid?
Yeah. I don't know. There is a guy. I think he's like the wealthiest black man in America, and I think he's based out in like Denver or something. He's a very low profile guy.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, at one of the HBCUs, at graduation, he had just announced that he was going to cover everybody's student loans. And I cannot remember his name, but he's a super low-profile guy. He probably has the financial wherewithal to do it if he were inclined, but it would seemingly kind of cut against his low-profile, way of doing things.
Damn, I wish he would have came to my HBCU way.
During your graduation year?
Shout out to Rick Ross, man. He was sporting the Bethune-Cookman University shirt and all that stuff, man, on his IG Live today. So that's what's up.
There you go. But I'm happy to see Sarver go. I think that this is a win for the league, and if they can get a minority owner in there, a black ownership group, that's a double win for the league.
Yeah. We'll see how. He said he started the process. I guess it's still a chance he pulls back and says, you know what, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I don't think. I doubt it. I highly doubt it, because I think when he says he starts the process, and again, we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar asset. You don't buy these like underwear. Like, there's a process to this. And again, we talked about this. When you're forced to sell, it's probably at a discount. When you start a process, you're probably going to get closer to fair value, because they will probably get a couple different groups involved, and the league will have a role in this. They have to approve owners.
Yeah, they do.
And they'll kind of, be pulling some strings, and hopefully toward a minority or black ownership group. so that it works that way. But because I do think the league's going to be happy to see this.
Yeah.
That they're not going to do anything to slow this down. And so that's why I think it'd be very hard for him to pull back from this.
Yeah, it will.
But it's a win. It's a win for the league. They have a chance to really, to make it a double play instead of just a single out at first base.
No, that's for sure. Definitely see how that'll go. I don't like where Phoenix Suns is at as far as a team right now. But
why?
Huh?
Why?
Just roster wise, I think they made the DeAndre Ayton thing a shit show when it didn't have to be. They waited so long to extend him, and to finally extend him at the cost of, because you had a chance to get Durant, and that was on a wish list.
Yeah.
If you had taken care of Ayton, a year or two ago when his class was all taken care of, then you could have dealt him.
Could have been asset heavy and done that.
You know what I mean? And then Chris Paul is extremely aging. We've seen enough of Booker in the playoffs to know, like,
yeah,
he's
concerned.
not really a 1A piece.
I don't love the Suns, but I mean, with the exception of Chris Paul, the rest of that roster is kind of on the same timeline. They're close enough in age. When you talk about Booker, Bridges, Ayton, the question is, are they good enough to really do anything?
Right.
Probably not, so I tend to agree with you in that perspective.
Yeah.
But they're not.
That's not the Charlotte.
They're not in a horrible position because they have. I mean,
Magic.
All those guys have a certain value.
Yeah,
they're not without a move.
No. They have moves.
Yeah.
They can make moves.
Still playing chess.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Until it's checkmate, baby. You still got moves.
I was going to open with this, but I get it out of the way now. I was in an interesting conversation, and
Aren't you always?
A lot of people, they say now, like, Kevin Hart is not funny, right?
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, you hear that a lot on social media, and you hear that said about a lot of like different Asian comedians, things like that. And my take on that is
Asian or Asian?
Aging.
Okay.
I've heard a couple of good Asian comedians.
Okay.
Koi. I probably said the name wrong, but yes. So I think comedy is a lot like rap in the sense of you have these guys, and they're when they first hit the scene, they're relating to us, to the demographic, to their audience, because we're on a similar level. Comedians, they're talking about struggling and they're making it funny, and all of that stuff we're currently going through.
The relatability is high.
So if they have a skill level enough to make it funny, it's going to be extremely funny to us because we're going through it.
Yeah, the relatability.
Same thing with rap. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys, when they're first hitting the scene, they're broke and they're trying to make it, and the relatability is high. Same thing with us, and the same thing with them. So as they start to get into their career, Kevin Hart, his first couple of stand-ups were fucking extremely, extremely funny. I was on the floor laughing, and you can and there's indication that they were extremely funny because after those, that's when he exploded. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not just me; it was literally the world, and that's why he became #1 comedian because of his original stand-ups. Now, what happens is it's two things that's happened. Number one is as to my first point. Now he's fucking rich as hell. Like, it's not a lot of relatability, and you can try to do it, but it's not. You're fucking eating lobster in Peru on a Wednesday night. Like, it's just.
That's like Jay-Z with the mogul rap.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Like, it's just I don't give a shit.
Right, but what else can he talk about? Because that's
Right.
what he's.
That's
just it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And you're in a weird spot because I don't know if I still want to hear Kevin Hart make jokes about eating oodles and noodles and shit or whatever. But so that's he has to make. And another thing is Kevin Hart is an experiences, family type of comedian. Every comedian has their lane. And that's even worse because he's only talking about what he's going through and what his family is going through.
But that's always like that authenticity And authenticity connects to relatability.
Yeah.
And that's the most powerful thing you can have, whether it's hip hop, whether it's comedy. Like, you come across as authentic. You live this life, you talk about it, it's funny. I had an old boss. He kind of like got into stand-up comedy. He took lessons, he did this stuff. And I'm going to say this. He's a heavy, generically unattractive Jewish guy who's married with kids. That is literally 5 connecting points of comedy that you could just go a lot of places. When I was still working there, he had a comedy gig and he invited us all to go to it. So, we're employees, we show up. And he did a routine that did not touch on any of those 5 things. And it just was so just irrelevant. Because, you have all these little things that you could go to that are rich sources of comedy. He chose none of them. And he stood up there and told these jokes that any jackass in the crowd could have told.
Yeah.
And it meant nothing. But when you go up and you are something and you give that, then you have a real chance to relate.
You do. But now there are comedians that do not, talk about themselves and their family.
Yeah.
And it works for them. If they're extremely funny, they could talk about things that's going on. You have politics, political comedians.
Yeah.
You have, whatever's going on, trending topics and things like that. You have those type of comedians. And you even have comedians that does those little short jokes, not knocks, but you know what I mean. Those type of jokes. But and in that conversation I had, they were comparing Kevin Hart to like a Dave Chappelle. And the thing with Dave Chappelle is kind of opposite. Dave Chappelle, when he first came out, he really wasn't funny. His first special was like Killing Him Softly. And Killing Him Softly, it's not that he was a bad comedian or wasn't funny at all. He was nowhere near the level of a comic that he is now, right? And it's because his style is completely different. His best joke from way back then was a baby buying crack on the corner, right? And this is 18 to 20 something year old Dave Chappelle. He's very young, and that was his best joke. Now he's more in the political.
Social commentary. And I was
it doesn't even come off as jokey jokes.
I was gonna say when you were comparing that, like, I did not watch a lot of Dave Chappelle early in his career.
Yeah.
I don't know that body of work that well. I have watched the last couple of specials he's done, and what he is, it is deep, cutting social commentary laced with humor.
Yes.
And it's a different animal.
It's a different animal.
You don't tune into one of those Dave Chappelle things expecting to laugh every minute and a half.
No.
You're not gonna do it. Like, he goes to some dark places, but he has he's developed a wonderful way of kind of turning something, and it hits you. Sometimes it hits you comedically, but sometimes it hits your soul. Mm-hmm. And it's not a laugh. It just makes you think.
He's in a unique hemisphere, and he's killing it.
But going back to Kevin Hart, though, and even just evaluating, like, is Kevin Hart funny? It's, like, what is funny? Are you defined by your stand-up? Are you defined by your comedic movies?
That's another layer.
Are you defined just by being like a guy that's just, whenever he gets in front of a microphone, is just kind of funny? Yeah, I find Jamie Foxx hysterical, and a lot of that is his storytelling.
Yeah, Jamie is I like to just use talented, man.
Oh, he's super. I mean, he's one of the
funny.
most talented people in Hollywood.
Yeah. He is funny. So they are, they're talking about his movies as well, right? Especially more recently, because he has this Netflix deal, and they're like, so they're churning out these movies to complete that deal.
Yeah.
So, and the last one was pretty bad.
Me Time?
The grand
one Me Time?
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off.
I guess different strokes for different folks, but it's movies. You gotta, if you're gonna take the fucking role, you can't really. You can hold Kevin Hart to it, but it's a role that he's playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's not writing these lines. I mean, of course he has. I'm sure Kevin Hart has free will to change things around and kind of roll with things.
Yeah.
But they have writers. And also Kevin Hart, he has so many, going back to his stand-up, he has so many specials compared to a guy like, for example, Bernie Mac. A lot of black people say Bernie Mac is way funnier than Kevin Hart. But Bernie Mac only had one special, and then he had the 30-minute time that he had on Kings of Comedy. Like, it's a big difference when a guy is working versus a guy like Bernie Mac, or versus a guy like Eddie Murphy, who only has one or two specials. It's really a different. It's a different beast.
I would say too, like Kevin Hart, and maybe he suffers from this, is that, he's almost like the Drake of comedy. Like, he's everywhere. Like, you really can't get away from Kevin Hart.
No, you can't.
He's in a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
He does the comedy stuff.
Commercials.
He's also commercials. He's also popping up, he's very active on social media.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of in that Drake thing of, I'm just everywhere.
Got a podcast.
Yeah.
The ice tub thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
ever seen
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
clips.
Yeah, I've seen clips, but yeah. But I mean, in that way, like, he stays super relevant, but he doesn't hit you as like fresh at this point.
Right.
Like, there's nothing new that he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think he could suffer from that. I think he's talented. I do think he's funny, but he's not everybody's cup of tea. But I think every comedian's that way.
Every comedian's that way.
I mean, just again, that relatability thing that we talked about, like, certain lanes of jokes is like, I'm gonna laugh my butt off, but like, somebody else would just think it's juvenile or stupid, and they'll laugh at something that I think's ridiculous and dull.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't. The reality is, you can't sustain the career he's had without being funny.
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
I'm
is he
saying.
the funniest guy ever? Probably not.
Probably
but
not.
You don't do as much as he does without being funny for me.
No way. No way. Make sure you guys check out, and Pink, overkink.com. We did not identify.
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Overkink.com has all of your bedroom needs, and you use promo code Bubbapink, you can get it at a discount. And we have identified
I'm like Russell Wilson. I'm prepared.
item of the week from Overkink.
The item of the week, I went with the couples category.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I found something called the Rocks Off cocktail.
What is that?
This is a dangerous weapon, my friend. So this thing, it has essentially a butt plug.
Okay.
With another sort of, it's all one piece, but another piece that kind of hooks around. And apparently the way this is used for the maximum benefit of couples is that you stick the butt plug in the butt. Imagine that. The other piece, like, actually slides into the vagina when it's then closely followed by a penis. And this whole apparatus vibrates with 10 different settings that are described as deeply powerful.
Whoa.
Providing maximum stimulation.
Maximum.
For everybody at all times. I don't know how I've had sex all these years without using this.
So the butt plug goes in me.
No, God forbid.
Oh, okay, that's what I want to forbid. That's what we're trying to get these things together here.
No, the butt plug goes into the woman.
And she gets
and there's this thing that goes into the vagina.
So she got two.
She had two going.
Well, three, because then
you bring the meat.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's
But the way to vibration, it's supposed to actually do some pleasure for you as well.
I want to see a rose beat that.
Yeah. I want to see anything beat that. Bring it on if you've got a better toy. I mean, this thing's a monster, man.
Oh man.
Yeah. I guess it's also good for guys that don't have a lot of girth.
You may have started. You started out with maybe the number one product on the whole site. Where are we going to go next week?
I don't know. God forbid, I don't know.
Yikes, man. That's overkink.com. The best thing about that is if you use promo code Bubbapink, you can get this whole apparatus at a discount, man.
It's like $87.30, but you'll get a discount.
You need that discount.
It'd be significantly cheaper. Who wants to drop $87 like that?
No.
But then again, for all that does, Jesus, that's less than $30 per stimulation.
Oh, that's wild, man. That is wild.
That's a dangerous tool, my friend.
No, it is. It is.
You gonna get one?
I'm gonna look into it.
Okay.
I'm gonna look into it, man.
Yeah, man.
What were we going here? We were going to go with the NFL, man.
What better follow-up?
That's right. I'm sure Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, I'm sure they know all about top-tier apparatuses to keep things spiced up in the bedroom.
I'm sure they do.
You know,
Pat's got to keep that crazy white chick under control. God.
So, as the NFL season rolls along, you got these two Titans, man, Bills and Chiefs, and the Bills are, when you hear social media, when you hear on TV, consensus number one team in the league.
Through 2 weeks, hands down the most impressive team.
Domination. The defense is playing at the same level the offense is at. It's very special. And then you have Kansas City Chiefs sort of just continuing on. Not showing the dominance the Bills have, but you can you see they're a top 5, top 3 team.
Yeah.
They actually play in week 5.
Okay.
Right? So we're gonna get to see that coming up very soon here. My question is to you.
To me.
Which team do you think really is going to represent the AFC this year?
Right now, I feel it's the Bills.
You do.
I do. It's not to say that the Chiefs are bad, but the Bills are playing and functioning like a team on a mission. They seem completely locked in, and that's a powerful thing in professional sports.
Yeah.
Right now, they've got it unlocked. But the reality is, I would rather have this locked in the playoffs rather than week 1 and 2, because anything can happen down the road.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, you as a Bills fan, you can't ask for your team to do anything more than they've done so far, and they've been terrific. And until somebody beats them, that's the show.
Yeah, and they got Miami coming up here.
Yeah, and
that
Miami's
should be a
been
good
fun.
game.
I got to say this, I am all in on Mike McDaniel, the coach. I think he's one of the funnest guys in the league, and he's got that team playing, well. They had a very almost like a routine victory over a kind of an uninspired Patriots team, and then they had this crazy phenomenal comeback. And I get it's easy to say, well, hell, the Ravens had them down by 21 in the fourth quarter. They can't be that good of a team. But when you start to stack these sort of games on top of each other, it builds who you are. And you're going to be tougher for having won these games like that than you would, otherwise. And so I think the adversity they faced in that game and coming back from it, that builds something in that Dolphins team. But I'm still taking the Bills this week. But I just think McDaniel's really got a handle on this team, and I think he's a kind of a new, fresh voice. He's not the typical, to me, low intelligence, loud volume football guy. And I think they've got a solid dude there. And again, like, how could you not like watching Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle play?
Yeah, man.
They're just exciting guys.
They're taking the top off, and they're very exciting. Chiefs is my team, so I think the Chiefs are going to represent the AFC. But my take on this is, it's funny how when you know what the outcome is, but new teams and new situations take you out of your stance and your belief. So you got the AFC West, and before the season starts, everybody is saying, man, this is probably the best division probably in the history of football. You know what I mean? You had a lot of people saying that, especially ESPN.
And so we're talking the Chiefs, the Raiders,
yes, Broncos,
and the Chargers.
yes,
Okay.
and mainly because of the quarterbacks on each team.
Yeah.
And then so you have there was no consensus on who is going to win this division. You had guys picking the Raiders, Broncos, Chargers. A lot of people picked the Chargers. But there's just something about picking a team who has dominated this division for the last whatever years, even before Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you want to go away, and then a lot of people were picking the Raiders, and now the Raiders, they who knows where they might finish. The Broncos, I don't like the way they look. They just won.
No.
But I don't like the way they look. And the Chargers, they still have this vibe to where something is just not going to go right. And that's always been the Chargers. Even when our guy was there who retired, The old quarterback.
Phillip Rivers.
Even when Phillip Rivers was there. With
Oh, yeah.
Damian. I'm talking just something is going to happen.
Well, his whole career was, he never won the title.
No.
It was always, good teams for the most
Good
part.
teams.
He was always regarded as a big talent and just never, got over the top.
Just never could get over the hump.
Yeah.
And that's what this team is looking like.
Herbert is, that's the thing. Like, so many people were incredibly high on him.
Yeah.
And I recognize he's a talented player, but until he does more, I'm not sold on him. And on the pick six, they had a miscommunication. I'm not 100% sure that was his fault. It happens to the best of them. But again, at the end of the day, that's a ball he threw.
You know what I mean?
And his team lost.
And something's just going to happen. I'm watching that game, and I'm just like, and the Chargers, if you're watching football, the Chargers have the upper hand out there driving. They're about to score again. And I'm just completely confident. I'm calm. I'm saying something is just going to happen.
Yeah.
I just know it's the Chargers, and it's not that they haven't beaten us before. They beat us last year in the regular season, one game. We split last season, so it's not that they can't beat us at all. And like I said on the show, the Chargers have had the best of luck out of all the other teams in the division in the last few years. But still, man, and Derwin James again. Put the beat down on Kelsey, man. Like it's safe to say, like that's.
Did you catch the Kelsey brothers talking about that today?
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
What did he say?
So the brother who plays for the Eagles, he was talking. He's like, bro, you got absolutely obliterated. And he goes, yeah, it wasn't the first time. But he goes, but I love Travis Kelce. He's one of my favorite guys in the league. But he's like, yeah, I cut back. And he goes, he got on me so quick, and I felt his hands get on my legs, and I'm like, I start going up. And he goes, what goes up must come down. And he's just like, oh, I knew this was going to be bad. But he goes, the coolest part of the whole thing is like when the possession ended, Derwin's like, you good, bro? He's like, yeah.
Oh man,
that's funny.
No, Derwin James is a monster, especially guarding those tight ends like that, man.
Yeah, he's a guy, man. I just really wish him, full health, because he's missed a ton of games in his career. But he's genuinely a guy that really is worth watching play. Yeah. So hope he stays healthy. Kelsey as well. But yeah, that was a good moment. Those guys got a nice podcast, the Kelsey brothers. It's good banter between them, and they're obviously brothers, but they have such different personalities.
No,
it makes for a fun show.
Yeah. How would you rank them as far as quarterback rankings right now? Like if you were to name your top 5 quarterbacks, just as this season, not
right now,
overall, just right now, how would it go?
Allen and Mahomes, Lamar, Tua, and 5's tough.
Putting Tua in there already.
You're saying right now?
Yeah, right now.
The guy throws 6 touchdowns and leads a comeback.
Right now.
Completes a fourth down touchdown in this prior game and they win. Who's doing more? I'll go with Tom.
Tom.
Yeah.
Tom
but
doesn't look good now.
Yeah, look great, but nobody else is jumping out to me. Maybe I forgot a guy. Yeah. Could go Cooper Rush. He was spectacular.
The 100% win record.
Look. Herbert lost the big showdown with Pat. David Carr's David Carr. Russell Wilson's looked bad.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers looked bad.
Not bad.
The first game he was bad.
The receivers were bad.
But he was bad himself. We're not getting on the.
But I'm not. I'm not going to make an argument.
Jameis had a total stinker.
I wouldn't put Jameis in this.
Nah, but you go down the list, like who's nobody's looked. A lot of these guys are just mediocre.
Yeah, not actually off the top of your head. So.
Yeah. But I'll stand by my answer. I'm sorry. I'll go with Jalen Hurts over Tom. Jalen's looked better than Tom has.
Yes.
Right now. So that's my 5.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's been, he had a great little comeback, but he's been, not great.
Yeah,
to
not
me.
right now.
Made a few great plays in that game, but not great.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
A lot of people are starting to hype up the Eagles, like as being the NFC's best team.
Are
you feeling that at all?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the team I picked to come out of that division. But it's a bad division. But the Eagles, like I said, the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in football. You got Jalen. I'm a fan of Jalen. I really like his game, and the only thing about it is, just not sure they have what it takes to win in the playoffs right now. You have some teams that are better suited, better made for the playoffs. Like I'm not sure.
But in the NFC, who are those teams?
Like 49ers.
Not with Jimmy G.
Well, you're not a Jimmy G guy.
You're damn right I'm not.
I'm a Jimmy G guy.
Yeah. Well, you'll be shipwrecked on the shore.
I said it. You didn't. You remember before the season? I said I'm not sure. I'm just not on the trade train.
No, I know. You're on record as saying that. But Jimmy G is
hurt,
what he is.
So it's not fair to say that. But he didn't look awesome.
No, he didn't. I'll take that.
But it takes the guys. I was, we all assuming he needed a few games anyway.
But he didn't look awesome. I don't really like the offensive talent on that team.
It's not overwhelming at all, man.
Yeah.
They have running backs that can just get the job done.
But they had, the year they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs, they had a couple like fast backs who ran hard, and they were like running back by committee, but it worked.
And their defense was better.
And they leaned so heavily on defense and running. And that was my big gripe with. They went through that playoff run, and they didn't have to trust Garoppolo, and it was completely clear they didn't trust him by the way they played.
You know what's interesting with that team? Deebo Samuels is a top 5 running back. Just
in the whole league.
In the entire league. Deebo Samuels is a top 5 running back. But he plays receiver. And you know what's funny? If I'm a parent coming up and my child can do both, I would want him to play receiver over running back as well, just because of that.
Yeah.
But every time he touches the ball, he's electric coming out of the backfield. But he's not a top 5 receiver. He's you would lean more to 10, 15.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. The Kittle thing is interesting because, he's been hurt.
He gets hurt so much.
He's been hurt. But it's like, even when he plays, he's a great tight end because he blocks and he can go out and catch passes. But he's not an elite route runner and pass catcher. What makes him elite is because he's such a great blocker and he can, catch passes here and there.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I've heard some different arguments on that, though, in that, like it almost hurts him scheme-wise that he blocks as well as he does, where they tend to lean on the blocking, and he doesn't run the same type of routes that the other premier high-profile tight ends
and you're saying because of the way the offense
is, and he's integral to their blocking.
He really is.
In a way that Travis and Waller and some of the other guys are not.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit of a handicap on both sides for him. But to me, his biggest issue is health. I mean, when he's healthy and played, his catches, his yardage have been pretty strong. Maybe not at the level of Kelsey, but not terribly far off. But he misses too many games.
Yeah.
Every year there's something. But I'm not. I mean, I right now I don't see the Eagles taking a clear, back seat to the 49ers. I think the teams are pretty comparable.
Yeah. But the 49ers have that experience. I would lean on that experience in a playoff game. That's my point to that. Would I be shocked if the Eagles won? Of course not. I would be rooting for the Eagles because I'm a Jalen guy.
Yeah.
And my tie to Philadelphia sports. But
speaking of which, Ben Simmons was on the JJ Redick podcast.
I know, right?
But before we digress,
yes.
We haven't mentioned the defending champions, the Rams.
Yeah.
When we talk
They
about it,
bounced
when we
back.
talk about experience, that's the team I would actually be more concerned about if you get him in a one-off playoff game this year.
I wouldn't want to. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I'm the Eagles, I'm more worried about the Rams than the Niners. If I'm the Niners, I'm probably more worried about the Rams than the Eagles.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's for sure. Well, we're going to go here. I wanted to hit this as the NFL as well, right? Because we just got done talking about the AFC West and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. The Raiders have gotten out to an 0-2 start. Now, you got Josh McDaniels, who is the head coach, right?
Yes, he is.
Now, it's multi-layered here because, number one, the Raiders just got rid of head coach. You know,
We're talking about Gruden.
and Gruden.
But the guy that handled the rest of the season last year, I forget his name.
Yeah.
But he had, to me, a very good vibe. That
He did.
team, they lost
They
a
were
close
playing
game to
good,
the
though.
Bengals in the playoffs, but they were playing good. They
were
were
playing really
engaged. They
good.
seemed to be playing hard for him. And my feeling right now is they might have dropped the ball by not giving him the job.
They did. I don't see how Josh McDaniels keep getting gigs. Josh McDaniels, he failed his first time around as a head coach with the Broncos.
Yeah.
You know, he had and I was on his side in the beginning because he had my guy Tebow, and he played a part in drafting Tebow, and he had Tebow playing some decent football. Relatively speaking. And then Josh McDaniels got caught cheating. Did you? A lot of people don't know that. No, in the NFL.
Oh, there's other kinds of cheating.
He got caught cheating. He was filming practices, which the Patriots, who he was a
that's where he's
long-time
from.
assistant.
Yeah.
Like, how does the NFL not tie those two together and just say this motherfucker is just he's a fucking cheat. He does it once, twice, 3 times. I mean, and all he does is get fined. He gets fined.
Yeah.
The next week he's back with the Patriots.
Yeah.
The next week he's hired back. But and I understand it's a friendship. Bill has the right to hire who he wants as an assistant. But now you have 2 cheaters back together, and the NFL doesn't do anything to stop this shit. And then, and by the way, he cheated, but he also failed as a head coach.
I think that's the bigger thing. He cheated and still failed.
He cheated and still failed, right?
Yeah.
So that you have that, and then he goes back to being an assistant, and then he gets this opportunity again, and they're off to a bad start. I'm sure he's probably going to lean back to his cheating ways.
Didn't he have that other thing where he was going to take
He was going to take the coach
Indianapolis
job.
job,
Take the coach
and then
job,
backed out of it.
and Frank got it.
Here's what we need to know about Josh McDaniels. He's a dick.
Yes.
That's just it.
And that's what I'm saying. He
He'll
just got
never
rid of one.
forget
and
about
hired
the
another one.
cheating. He's just never going to be a successful head coach because at his core, he's a dick.
Yes.
And that's always going to get you. And I think that's why he's never really had success anywhere other than the Patriots. And in the Patriots, he's simply a cog in the machine.
He is, but
he's nothing more than that.
he may be a really good coordinator. I think he is. I think he is a good offensive coordinator. I saw the way that he had, he got the best out of Tebow, whatever that was. He got the best out of Jimmy
If you
G.
remember, I forget the NFL writer does ESPN stuff. I think his name's Bill Barnwell. During that Tebow run, the Denver Broncos literally benefited from just an unprecedented run of good fortune.
They did,
in
but
terms
Josh
of-
wasn't a part of that.
Well, when did Tebow play good other than that?
He played very, very well his first year. Do you remember the last 3 games, last 3 to 4 games, they had to bench Osweiler, that guy, and then Tebow came in. Tebow had
I thought he only had
300 passing yard games.
I thought he only had one run with the Broncos, and they got to the playoffs. He threw the pass to Demaryius Thomas.
No. He had he had 2 seasons, right? He
Really?
had the first
Okay.
initial his rookie season where he started the last 3 or 4 games. They got off to that and then the next season he came back.
Oh.
And then that's when
That's when I had to
run.
think. Okay.
But Josh was gone.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really recall that. It was
Yeah.
a blip.
But yeah, he had a couple 300-yard passing games, and then like I said, he did well with and he could be just a fucking cog in the machine. What the hell do I know? But he's a dick, like you said. But my point is, how does he keep getting these opportunities? And then you have these other these black assistants who they don't even get a fucking opportunity to interview a lot of these times. You got the Tampa guy who was a former quarterback.
Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich didn't even get an interview.
Right.
You got this guy who's cheating. He's fucking failing everywhere he goes. He's getting opportunity after opportunity. And fucking he couldn't even, and the guy in Tampa couldn't even get an interview. You got my guy in Kansas City. He had one interview.
Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy, one interview after all these fucking winning seasons we've had.
Right.
I mean, what is the barometer? I mean, that's you know what I mean. That's what it's coming down to. And
Yeah.
we talked about this on the show before.
And it's super complicated. I hate and complicated is maybe not. I mean, it's not even as obvious as that. It's like if you analyze Bill Belichick's coaching tree,
oh man,
they
it's been
suck.
awful. It's been awful.
Including Romeo Crennel, a black coach.
Yeah.
Like none of the
Yeah.
Patriot
He stunk it up in Kansas City.
Belichick guys have gone anywhere and sustained any sort of coaching
And you
success.
know why? Because they try to implement that fucking Patriot way where they go and
They can't do it.
and they just
You
can't do it.
Yeah, you're right.
You
Nah.
can't do it,
Nah,
man.
nah, it's true. But so
All
like,
of them try to do it.
not only are you going for like a white retread guy that's not had success as a head coach, despite having a couple opportunities, it's again a Belichick guy.
Yeah.
Which at this point, if you're looking at coaches, a fact that somebody's coached with the Patriots is a negative
It
in
should
my
be a
evaluation
negative.
process.
It should be a negative, yeah.
Not a positive by any means.
No.
You are stained by having been there. And I genuinely still regard Bill Belichick as probably the best football coach to ever live.
Yeah.
Individually. But I just don't think it translates to the assistants, and there's enough data to suggest that it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And why? Yeah, Josh McDaniels is a terrible hire, just absolute nonsense to hire him. And again, you had a nice connected vibe in the offseason, or going into the end of last year. You pick up a great free agent, Davante Adams, and now you're 0-2 with a shitty coach.
Yeah. The Davante thing is weird too. Davante has I saw some weird stat. He has like he has 4 or 5 catches in 2 games.
Yeah.
For a few yards.
David
Carr, they played in college together, like,
and that was the whole weird thing, and that they had this, almost like they've written it up like they almost had like a 10-year plan to reunite.
yeah,
But David Carr, I'm not a David Carr fan. I think he's a middle of the pack quarterback. I think that he's basically like a Christian robot, and he's not like a fluid thinker. Mm-hmm. And if you and now go back last year, there were multiple articles in mainstream sources talking about like literally the spontaneous connection and rapport that Davante had with Aaron Rodgers. And Rodgers is like a spontaneous, quick-thinking guy. And Davante vibed with that because he's smart. And I think that so much of what they did wasn't necessarily the playbook, but like them connecting.
Yeah, their skill set.
And you go to a guy that doesn't have that ability. And I don't care if you like went to kindergarten together. That's not translating.
Yeah.
David Carr is who he is as a player. To me, he is a sort of paint-by-numbers, robotic quarterback. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to thrive in that. And I think a lot of ways like that, that's part of the issue that like that Odell had with Baker Mayfield. They just didn't connect.
Yeah.
And it just gets worse and worse because it becomes a story. Now, if this Raiders team continues to be underwhelming and Adam's stats continue to be poor, they're not going to be able to avoid that. Like press conferences, everything's going to be like, "Hey, Davante's well off of pace of his prior numbers. What's going on there? You guys not getting along?" And you can't avoid it. That becomes like an impediment in and of itself.
But the first move would be the head coach.
Oh, they made a horrible hire. They need to jettison him. Immediately.
That's what I'm saying. If the woes continue, I think he's the first guy out because you damn sure not going to move Davante, and you can't move on from Carr just because of your other options. There's just not a lot of other
right,
options.
particularly a mid-season move. They're going to have to endure this season together,
regardless.
Carr and Adams.
Yeah, Carr and Adams.
And maybe it picks up. I deep down feel it won't. I just don't think that they're really two guys that connect.
And they
well.
have weapons, man. They have Winfro. They have weapons over there.
Yeah. Well, Renfro killed him the other day. A couple fumbles.
Yeah.
Including one that gets run back in overtime.
No, that's true. All righty, let's go to our next ad here. Royal13thebrand.com. Don't forget, use promo code Bubbapink, and you can go into the fall season looking fly. Royal13thebrand.com.
I'm loving that blue shirt there.
Yeah, man.
I think I have a pair of shorts to match.
And that's actually the owner, man. That's the owner of the Royal
being his own model.
Brand. That's right.
That's right. I like that.
Gotta like
that. That won't work for me. I don't have the looks to be my own model. Yeah, I might have to get on that shirt right there.
Yeah, man. Let's go to start a bench with Coach Pink, man.
I'm ready, man. I told you I'm on fire.
You're on fire. Let's see, man.
Are you still on fumes or are you catching up?
I'm still on fumes. Let's get the clock ready. Of course, one of our favorite weekly segments is Start a Bench with Coach Pink. We give Coach Pink 60 seconds to talk about some of the trending topics in sports and entertainment. Where are you at here? All right. And let's go here. All righty. So, NBA age limit. Start a bench.
Start.
All right. So, oh, man, I'm not supposed to start shit right now. So, the NBA is taking a hard look at taking the age, putting the age limit back to 18, the way it was what was that? Right in the David Stern era and before. And, of course, this will greatly benefit, like LeBron playing with his son and others. So what is your overall take on it? Should they do it? And do you think they will do it?
100% should do it. The NBA is the best environment to develop NBA players. The development of the G League only makes that easier. And it's ridiculous to send kids to college that should be in the pros. It's a waste of their time, like literal waste of time. Waste of time basketball-wise, waste of time socially. And I think that it's the only way to go. Get people to the setting where they're going to profit.
What does that what does that take college basketball?
College basketball survived when we did this for about a 10-year span before. From Kevin Garnett through Kobe through LeBron, there was a stretch that we continued to do that. College basketball will be what it is. College basketball is going to, it's going to survive, but again, it has issues with NIL and things like that how that works out. But that's not my concern. I'm here for the pro game.
Yes, and I think teams this time around should they were drafting like any fucking 17, 18-year-old that had some type of stuff.
Yeah.
Just stay calm. Draft the LeBrons, the Garnetts, let the rest of the guys.
But you can't ignore where the G League is now versus where it was in the past.
So you're saying draft the guy and just put him straight to the G League?
100%.
You got the number one overall pick.
Well, no. See, I mean, I'll say this: the guys that you're taking in the top 5 or 6 should be largely NBA ready.
Right, but
or
we
you're
don't
not.
know. I mean,
LeBron,
but but a lot of these guys didn't pan out that first time around.
Well, I mean, but they're always going to fuck up picks. But the majority of the guys that go number 1 are NBA ready. They should be able to function in that thing. I mean, not just like LeBron, but I mean who's a couple number 1 picks in recent memory?
What, from high school or
Anthony Well, I mean, to me, you don't like Anthony Edwards was gonna being at Georgia for a year meant nothing. Ben Simmons being at LSU for a year meant nothing.
Well, that really meant
These guys are ready to go.
Yeah.
And to just have them fart around for a year on a college campus is a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of his,
Jason Tatum,
but
Jason
Tatum, Kevin Durant, and I'm not a huge fan of Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, Carl.
A lot of these guys are just they're
Anthony
ready.
Davis. Yeah.
Let them play.
Sure. Yeah.
And then even let's go to another. A couple of the guys have already LaMelo, Jalen Green. A couple of these guys have already circumvented the traditional college route. But my point in mentioning where the G League is the G League doesn't have the crazy stigma that existed in the past. So if you get a guy, again, top 5 guy, there's high aspirations, he should contribute immediately. After that, I don't think there's a lot of dudes that have played some G League minutes, that are fine in the NBA. Yeah. And it's you can toggle a guy back and forth.
Yeah.
If you're not giving him minutes right now, hey, let's play 4 or 5 games with the G League affiliate. Whatever, somebody goes down or out of the rotation, we're ready to bring you in and have meaningful minutes for you. It's all about player development. And you don't, literally, this is something you got to bear in mind. When these guys go to college, they're spending X amount of hours in class, X amount of hours in study hall. They're chasing, among 30,000 co-eds on the college campus. It's all fucking exhausting. When you are, in the facility day after day, Like, it's not that you're gonna not do some extracurricular stuff, but that's a better development setting. If you go to any of these pro teams that are half decent teams, like, there's good professionals there that are gonna that guide you, and push you in a way that you're not. There's developmental coaches all over the place. They don't have hours restrictions on how much time they can work with you, and you get better. I mean, you look at a guy like Anthony Simons. He's developed. He hasn't until this year. He didn't play a ton of NBA minutes, but he's clearly developed, and he's an excellent player.
You got that from somewhere, and that's around the clock.
And that would not have happened at Louisville or North Carolina or whatever. I'm completely adamant that the NBA setting, including the G League, part of that is the best place to develop, and it is all about talent development.
All righty.
Probably went over a minute, though.
We did. And that was my fault. Asking questions. Follow-up questions. We will stick to the plan. Drake, start a bench.
I'll go with Drake. Let's start him.
All right. So Drake was on fire, man. He was at one of these basketball runs. And yeah. It's one of those, man. He sunk 12 three-pointers at a Rowdy Rebel basketball league.
Oh, that was a league?
Yeah, I think it was a league or a run.
I thought it was a run.
It
like
says
that.
a Rebel basketball game, so maybe it was just a game.
Oh, okay. So
Maybe it was
12
just a
threes
game.
in a game.
How impressive is that?
I mean, that's solid shooting. I mean, I don't always hit 12 threes when I play. Was this like a 20-minute running clock game? Like, what your two halves? What are we talking about?
Or are you talking about throughout the entire day?
Was he playing 4 hours of basketball? And if I play long enough, I'll hit 12 threes. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of questions. I saw some clips. I mean, it wasn't some high-level run, but credit to Drake,
Right.
He's over 30 now.
Yeah.
Still getting a run in. Gotta respect that, man. Anybody who loves the game, I'm good with.
All right. That's good. Emoni Bates started bench.
Gotta start this guy.
Yeah, man.
Because we'd be the only ones starting him.
So, quite a few things going on with Emoni. Of course, once highly regarded prospect coming out of hie school. And things are just tumbling and tumbling and tumbling. And so lately he has this issue with the gun, and I just whatever, explain that situation, and also his fall, and what do you see his career kind of going towards?
This is a guy that, as I think probably a sophomore in high school, was kind of regarded as the next Kevin Durant.
Yeah. And
he was the number one prospect regardless of class. By the time he was a senior, he was comprehensively outplayed in head-to-head game by Chet Holmgren, who was the number 2 pick in this draft and looks, once he gets healthy, to be a good NBA player. Bates ended up going to Memphis, where he was a highly regarded recruit. The first thing, I never was a fan of his game. I don't like his build. I know it's sort of like Kevin Durant, but here's something that you have to bear in mind. He was measured, I think, when he went to college, and his wingspan, arms across, is undersized. It's not even proportion to his height, which was like 6'8.5", which is shorter than he was initially perceived to be. So this is, and his athletic testing, vertical leap, explosiveness, those things, numbers were all pedestrian. So this guy, in a vacuum, is nothing special physically. Whether it be height, coordination, explosiveness, athleticism, it's just not there. So how he ever got as hyped as he was remains a mystery to me. And then he goes to Memphis and has no significant impact. I don't think he finished the season at Memphis. He transfers not to another high-profile program, but Eastern Michigan. And while there, he gets arrested for having guns in a car during a traffic stop. This guy is just literally on the way down. My feeling is basketball's not in his future. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying because he's going to be rotting in jail for 10 years. Mm-hmm. He just isn't what people thought he was. Yeah. He might bounce around a college program or two. He might get a camp invite to somebody who remains intrigued. But this is not a transcendent basketball talent that we're looking at. And he's not developed. and we talked about development. Going to Memphis for a year probably did him no favors. And, if you can't impact a college game significantly, how the hell are you going to be anything special on an NBA court? It just doesn't add up. Now, as a person, I hate traffic stops. I hate guns. I think racism's a viable thing. And there's a lot of things that could have happened in that traffic stop. Why was he pulled over? Was he targeted, et cetera? And again, he's no doubt a falling or fading star. So maybe there's some people that are almost, hoping for his downfall. Just it's the nature of people. We're pretty evil. But, I think I'm not saying he's never going to be basketball again, but the notion that he's going to be anything of a significant player in the NBA is dead. Yeah. And for him, I hope he gets the charges disposed of in some way, and he gives himself a chance to move on with life, even if it's just playing some college basketball and maybe getting overseas. But, wish him the best. I have nothing against him. But I just hate the process where we anoint these guys that aren't the real deal.
Yeah.
That bothers me, man.
That's the thing.
What do you think of that Mikey Williams guy?
Yeah, Mikey's another one. He's been doing a podcast circuit.
He was on I Am Athlete.
Yeah, and he was on. I want to say he was on with Barnes and Jackson. I don't know, man. Mikey may be another one, but I had higher hopes for Mikey, honestly, than Emoni. I had a chance to watch both of them play, and I kind of like Mikey and coming out of high school.
Yeah.
So
I think the brand's bigger than the game.
Yeah.
And I think the clip I saw in I Am Athlete, he thinks that too. And to me, you're on a bad collision course.
Yeah.
With reality.
Yeah.
Because if your brand is basketball, it's only going to be as strong as your game.
Yeah.
That you can't separate the two. Keep the main thing. It's the basketball.
Yeah.
And the reality is, I mean, the Ball brothers went through this, and if Lonzo Ball and Melo were automatic all-stars right now, that Ball brothers brand is different than it is now. It's not dead. It's still viable. People still follow them and care. But they're not elite players.
Right.
Melo's still got a chance. Lonzo's really been killed with injuries. I don't see Mikey Williams being a huge NBA player.
No, but I think he's going to be a better player than Emoni.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, if he makes the league,
well, I mean, X the gun charges and stuff.
No,
I'm just talking about
but
basketball.
No, I know. I think Mikey Williams is talented enough that if he goes to a college, he's going to score. He's going to do things and be exciting. Yeah. I just don't see superstar at the NBA level.
Yeah.
And part of that, I just think, is the mentality that he has. The guy, I mean, to me, the dudes that are really great are craftsmen. They really care about the craft. And I think he's, at 18 years old, cares more about the brand than the craft.
That's a lot of them, though, man.
100% of them. That's why superstars are special.
Yeah.
Like, really. And that's what we've got to, as sports fans, we have to really appreciate the guys that become special at the highest level.
Yeah.
And whether, like Giannis, Steph Curry, Pat and Allen in football, Josh Allen. Like, these guys are doing it. They're evolved. They're getting better season in, season out. We got to respect that because there's too many guys that don't ever get there.
Yeah.
But that's my feeling with Mikey Williams. He will be in the NBA, but he won't be as big as his brand, and eventually that'll take the brand down.
Yeah, Just Black says Mikey looks like another one of those guys that will maybe be a rotational NBA piece. And sometimes the prospect ends up not panning out. He looked good as a kid. And then Chris earlier said Bucks will win NFC. Well, yeah, that's a Bucks fan. Doc Rivers, start a bench.
Oh, we got to start our guy, Doc Rivers.
My main man, Doc, man. Doc Rivers was on Twitter and, allegedly, apparently, maybe, on Twitter, and he was liking all of these pornographic pictures and sites and links, and it was different flavors of porn. You had some regular porn, but you also had some transsexual porn. You had some fat ass white girls, and that is literal quotation of what he was looking for and liking. Now, and in the midst of all of this liking, he's putting up posts about Seth Curry and how much he misses Seth Curry on the team, and he's
Who's his son-in-law?
he's his son-in-law, and in between he's just liking transsexual porn. Whatever your flavor is your flavor. But then the team, 76ers, of course, we come out and say, hey, he was hacked. He left his phone down and somebody picked it up and just went straight to porn, man. What are the odds that he was hacked? And what is your overall take on it, man?
My main take is that image right there, horny, followed by 8 out of 9 tweets.
8 out of 9.
That is arguably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, it's just like, it's just hysterical. I mean, he's just sitting there. I mean, this is brilliant. It is. I don't know, man. It just feels like he was just like horned up one night and just like trolling around on Twitter. Like, it feels organic.
I'm telling you what it was, man. The whole squad was together, and I found out what it was. I hit my source up, and it was Callie's birthday.
Okay.
So the entire family got together for the birthday. They're drinking and this and that. And I'm sure at nighttime everyone leaves. Doc's drunk as hell. He's not with the wife anymore. He's home alone. Things happen when you're home alone, man.
Exactly. Drunk.
Kids gone.
Couldn't you just like enjoyed some Pornhub? Like, you don't have to like on Twitter.
I saw a meme. It was like it said Doc calling Austin to help him delete
scrub his Twitter account.
Yeah, scrub his Twitter account.
Was he Austin not taking the call? You're on your own, pops.
No, but that's fucking hilarious.
That is,
and that was him. Like, let's chill with the fucking hack. What are the odds a hacker hacks a fucking NBA coach's phone, a Twitter account, and only likes porn? You know what I mean? Like, he's not DMing other players or trying to get money,
or firing off like weird NBA takes. Or
you know what I mean? Like, what are the odds? He didn't post any post.
Yeah.
Like this hacker, supposed hacker. Come on, man. And he had time to show his love for Seth Curry. This hacker. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Just
own up to it.
It said, do you feel some kind of way depending on where you were with that tranny like?
Maybe without the tranny like, maybe there's a small chance he owns up to it. Maybe. Without that.
With that, he just can't acknowledge it.
I think so.
Couldn't say I was just confused. I thought it was a girl.
No, because it says it. It says it in the title.
In the title of what? Of the tweet that he liked?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The video.
Wow.
So
that's good stuff, though. That's just
no, it's classic. It's classic, man.
This image will just stand forever.
Just
I think this should be on his tombstone. Like, just in the fall of 2022, Doc went on a great run. 8 out of 9 tweets.
The last thing, we don't have to make it one of the things the minute, but I didn't know today was Black Women's Equal Pay Day. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that
This
either.
was trending on Twitter. So I said, this I don't know. But it says Black women make 58 cents on each dollar earned by a man.
Any kind of man.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what's up, man. Black Women's Equal Pay Day. Giving a shout out to all the black women in the world.
Yeah.
And hopefully, those dollars, keep coming up, man.
Full dollars instead of 58 cents.
Instead of 58 cents.
Yeah. Somebody told me it was some other kind of day, some sort of appreciation day.
It's always some sort of day.
I want to see like a 365-day calendar. Like, what? I feel like there's something on every day.
And then what?
There's Donut Day.
Then what do we have to do to get a day implemented? You know?
on the bench.
Anything.
I don't know what we got to do.
I don't know.
Yeah, and where does that even come about? Like, are these
Exactly.
are these like acts of Congress declaring these,
You know
or
what I mean?
just some group declares a day? I mean, I think it's pretty easy if like you're Dunkin' Donuts and you're just gonna offer free donuts. Like, sure, that'll become Donut Day.
Yeah, just donut
No
day.
objection. Do I have any objection to Donut Day if I give away free donuts? So
No, for sure.
yeah, I don't know, but yeah, equal pay is a good thing. I always I hate to say it, but I'm always skeptical of like the stats on this.
Yeah.
Like, are they saying like black women working period, any job, any capacity versus what
Because
men
then
make,
the numbers are skewed
Or-
versus if they're in the same position.
or are they saying that if a black woman and a male is doing the same exact job, they're getting paid that much less?
That's where it should come from. That's where the numbers should
and
come
if
from.
that's the case, that's horrific.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I wish they would just give a little deeper dive on those stats.
Yeah.
Just so, I mean, because I think it only helps if the stats are real.
Yeah.
Like it brings it home to intelligent people.
It does. It does. And
And when I say that, I'm not doubting that there's a disparity. I'm not
Right,
disputing that there's a disparity. I'm just saying I would love a more advanced analytics background, like, breakdown of these stats.
yeah. I'm trying to phrase my comment because it's like if you're in the workforce, right? Not sports. We're in the workforce. And because I'm in HR, there's several different factors in getting paid more than the other person. And I feel like a man is more comfortable in that arena. As, number one, for example, is challenging that pay.
You're saying more comfortable in the arena as far as negotiating
negotiating
certain pay
yeah.
for a job.
Right.
Okay.
And as far as negotiating pay, and when you find yourself in a situation, are you just going along with it, or are you challenging in the right way the management team? If you think you're underpaid, there's different levels and different factors that go along with that, and because you told me you introduced negotiating pay. Like, I don't know if you remember that. It was my first job when I moved back here to Orlando, and I was like, oh shit, I never even thought about fucking negotiating my fucking pay.
And the sad thing is I've never done that a day in my life. I just heard about it, but it works.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say though, there is there is a lot that sort of goes into that. Without a doubt. And I hate to say this, and I don't necessarily think that this is specific to black women, but when you are just generically in a workforce, single mothers are at a defined disadvantage.
They are, man.
I mean, if you're looking at it in pure economic terms, the amount of time that a single mother is going to miss from work, it's just going to be higher than a man or a woman who doesn't have children or has adult children or something like that. It's just different.
It just is what it is, and
You
you're
know-
not supposed to, like, from a management or HR standpoint, you're not supposed to, but you have to, man, because when you have different candidates you're choosing from, and you want to choose the right one because you're losing money. A company is losing money when they keep churning through people. You know
Right.
what I mean?
And that those missed days, like, I mean,
Missed
like,
days.
I work in a team setting. Like, if one of my teammates isn't there, like, our productivity is diminished for that day. I mean, and those days matter. And what I do, and what a lot of people do, like, I mean, it's consistently, processing the work that you do.
Yeah.
And when you're gone, like, nothing's getting processed, or somebody's trying to kind of compensate for your missing person. And that, I mean, it's just a very real thing from a productivity standpoint. And when you're looking at a candidate, it's hard to imagine that doesn't come into your mind in some way. When you're looking at two candidates, well, one is this, one is that. And another person I'm going to take a shot at is the smoker. The smoker is another brutal employee. Because smokers
to-
will typically end up just not being, in their spot a lot more.
Yeah.
With the smoke breaks and this and that. I was at a job one time, not my current job, but I was at a job one time where I think it might have been the building, but they didn't want anybody smoking basically in the same block as the building was. And we were up on like the 13th or 14th floor. And so if somebody was going to have their smoke break, they had to get on the elevator, go all the way down several floors, walk outside the building, and then walk like another block away to light up. And then they're going to like hang out, do their cigarette, and then you got to trek all that space back. I mean, that's real time.
Yeah.
And it's things that aren't getting done.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's real stuff. But I mean, to the extent that it's comparable stuff, but it does you made a good point with it's not sports. Because I hope sports aren't factored in there, because that'll skew the numbers.
It will.
I
don't think so.
I hope they're not.
Yeah. Because sports is a lot different. I mean, the guys are generating more money,
right?
So that's why they're getting paid more. That's simple. But in the workforce, it's not really that simple there. What I wanted to do next was I wanted to do a top 5. I'm bringing this back. I haven't done it in a while. So every once in a while, I like to let the people know what I'm watching, man.
Okay.
My shows. So we haven't done it.
So does Doc Rivers.
In a couple of months. So I wanted to give my top 5 shows that Bubba is watching right now. Okay, and that's what it is. So coming in at number 5.
Oh, these are ranked.
Yeah, these are ranked.
Okay.
Top 5. Coming in at number 5, I have Mike. All right, on Hulu. Now it's number 5. All right, it's not number 1. It's number 5. It's well put together. It has a couple of points in the show where it's like, they could have did better with this or could have took it out altogether. But when you look at it as a total picture, I'm there. I'm settled in every week. It's entertaining. I think Mike has an issue with the show, number 1, because he's not profiting off of it. And number 2, of course, they're going to be tackling some of the hard issues that he probably doesn't want to relive. The rapings, the alleged rapings, and the treatment of women. And that's kind of where we're at right now in the show, or just coming out of. All right. So, and that is what it is. But hey, if you were there and living in that time, these were huge things. They couldn't, you can't not do a Mike show and not tackle those things.
Yeah, they have to be addressed one way or the other.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's number 5. Mike, did you ever get back to it?
No, I did. I ended up trying to watch a few other things.
The Lakers.
No, I didn't. I've got to get back to that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been a poor television viewer the last 2 weeks.
All right. I'm a huge television guy, so that's me.
When do you watch all this TV?
I know, right?
Well, you can answer instead of dodging the
question. I watch
question.
at random times. Random
Okay.
times. I stay up late, and I'm a huge TV guy, but I have aspirations to write for TV.
Yeah.
Whenever that is, if it ever happens. But coming in at number 4 is In the Dark. Now, one thing about me is I watch everything, right? And I don't give a damn. I watch sci-fi. I watch drama. I watch Lifetime type shit. I like, you know what I mean?
What's your favorite
drama.
Lifetime movie?
I actually have one, but I forget the name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But this In the Dark is, not the typecast, but a lot of women would like this show, okay? This is a blind woman, and she gets into
She's blind?
She's blind, and it's a drama with hints of comedy here and there, but it's a drama show. And she's blind, and she's getting into all of this different, like, shit. It's a show filled with drama, but I like it because the writing is good, and it's somewhat realistic. It's not like it's not something that's just totally out of.
Well, how does she get into all the shit? What does she have a job? What's going on?
Something like that, right? So how she's getting into it was she has a cane. She has a seeing eye dog. She works originally. She was working at a place that sells the dogs, I guess you could say. The seeing eye dogs.
Seeing eye dogs, okay.
You know what I mean? So, but she gets into a lot of whatever, she's selling drugs and
she's selling drugs.
It's a lot of different stuff she gets into.
Okay.
Right now in the season I'm watching now, she's in jail. All right, she's in prison, so she gets in a lot of different things. All right, that's number 4, In the Dark. Coming in at number 3, I have Blackbird. Now, Blackbird, I'm pretty sure is an Apple TV show. Blackbird is a really good show. It is a show I think you may like.
What's it about? I've never heard of it.
Right. So it's about a guy who we're not telling the entire storyline. He gets into trouble, and the police have him go to this prison to get a confession out of a guy who committed heinous crimes. All right.
But not the crimes that he's alleged to have committed.
Well, the guy who's sent to the prison, they're saying if you get this coerced confession, we're going to let you out.
But is he getting a confession on the crime that he's alleged, or is he just getting a confession on another crime?
So the guy who has committed the heinous crimes,
Yeah.
it's the same type of crime. It's like a
similar crime.
It's what do they call those guys who
Pedophile?
Yeah.
Hell, dude. I belong on Jeopardy. I nailed that. I could smell it.
You did. Yeah, so it's the same thing. But it's one. Technically he's only in there for one charge. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's multiple women. All right.
Okay.
So if this guy goes in,
how's
gets
he a
the
pedophile
confession,
with women?
huh?
Pedophile has to be a pedophile with girls or boys, if that's your thing.
Oh yeah. Not to laugh, but yeah,
So, yeah.
boys if that's your thing.
You laugh though.
Yeah.
We won't forget
we
that
have
laugh.
YouTube people who come on the fucking thing. You guys laughing at this? It's a terrible thing. It's like, I mean, not laughing at that. Anyway,
We're just happy guys.
that's it, man.
Yeah.
God damn, we can't have fun. You want us to cry and fucking die along with these people? Okay, that's Blackbird coming in number. What's
You
that?
don't have to get die. You just have to
3.
get sexually abused, which might be worse.
I would think so.
Okay,
Um,
but you don't know.
I don't know. Coming at number 2 is Atlanta, which is a comedy drama show. I love the show. Atlanta is it's just one of those fun shows. Catch it when you can catch it. But if you're into that type of show, it's fucking awesome. It's top tier in that lane. It's not a lot of substance, if you could say, but the writing is really good. Glover is the main writer and director. He also does music. He's just a fucking talented guy. He's in the Jamie Foxx talent arena.
Really?
All right? Yeah.
You put him in there?
I put him in there because of everything he does.
Really?
Yeah, he's into fashion. He's into this, writing shows and doing that, and acting, and he does music. He raps, produces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
I
just-
said arena. I didn't say.
I don't think he's in the
was
arena.
better
I think he
or
might
more
be
talented.
I think he might be walking in the street outside the arena.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Jamie is a fucking monster. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna dispute anything anti-Jamie. Okay. Coming at number 1 is The Shy. All right.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, The
Okay.
Shy. Because that's what they call Chicago.
I probably mispronounced that though. I went with the Kai, the hard.
The Kai.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kai.
I like
would be
being
with a
hard.
K. You like? I don't really enjoy being hard if there's not a reason for it.
Okay.
Or like something's about to go down.
You can always make a reason. Ask Doc.
Ask Doc. The Shy is my favorite show I'm currently watching right now. It is a drama comedy. Like I say, it's based out of it's a hood in Chicago. So it's a lot of different things going on, a lot of different storylines. In this current season, I'm watching it, bringing politics in, and it's just a lot of things going on, man. You got my guy Kev. So you got a teenager storyline, then you got the adult storylines, and they're all connecting and they're doing their thing. It's really, really awesome writing, which is what I like to watch shows for, is to see how the writing is, and it's really elite.
What in terms of like writing, elite writing, what are kind of for you like the hallmarks that you notice and say, damn, this is well written?
Flow of a show, man. Because the flow of a show and when certain things hit. Because first of all, you gotta draw an audience in the beginning of a show. One of the things
Now, when we're talking about the beginning of a show, we talking the beginning of the series, or you're talking on an episode to episode basis?
Each episode.
There's got to be an early draw.
Yeah, got to be an early draw. Yeah. I watched I took a Shonda Rhimes class, who is my favorite writer in the business right now.
Really?
Yeah, she's done some amazing, worked on some amazing shows.
I thought she writes a lot of vapid nonsense. No.
No, she writes some fucking monster.
What shows has she done?
She's done. What's that doctor show?
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
That's insufferably bad.
But it has 1,000 seasons with 1 billion fans. I mean,
and every one of those fans is a bum.
Anyway,
that show's horrific.
You have to draw someone in the first 10 minutes of the show. The way the shows tie in together at the end, and just and the climb, the dramatic climbs of the show. If the show is a drama related show, the ups and the downs and how consistent they are. Right, you know what I mean. So it's just I always look for things like that as well.
I have this belief that it's very difficult to write after season 2 or 3.
It's extremely hard. That's another thing.
Because I think what happens is you just, when a show's created, it's created with some general story arc in mind.
Yeah. And
usually that might be 2 seasons, maybe a 3rd season, and at that point, the natural arc of the show from inception is done. And you're left with either we have maybe some characters defect and we pivot in a new direction, or we end up having to sort of recycle storylines with the same set of characters.
That's why shows,
and I think it's brutal.
That's why shows tend to that's why the 3rd, 4th, 5th seasons, they tend to not be as good as the earlier seasons. Because a lot of writers just struggle with that, but it's extremely hard. It's not an easy thing to do.
And that's why I have great respect for people that do shows and just end them. Like I have this in me.
Yeah.
And I'm done. This is what this story is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on and make a different show,
yeah.
But I'm not going to milk this for 6 seasons when I had 2.5 in my head.
Yeah.
And that's it.
No,
I have great respect for that.
That's a great point.
And most people don't do that probably because the money's so good.
Yeah.
But I really feel,
because you know how it goes. You know how it goes. How it goes is, especially if it's a newer type, director, writer, and a show. You get your opportunity for a first season, and a lot of times it's 8 to 10 shows. If it does well, and it's for a lower, say I'm just going to throw out an arbitrary number, $400,000. If it does extremely well, Netflix or whatever
your platform
on,
you're at,
they're going to say, okay, we want you back for a season 2. We're going to give you $1 million.
Yeah.
Depending on how good it does.
Yeah.
And then if that season does awesome, in your mind it's done. But it's like, hey, you come back, we got $5 million for you. You know what I'm saying?
Give me 3 for my next idea, and we'll work.
Yeah.
Nah, seriously, like that's, I think that there's an artistic integrity that goes along with that I respect, man.
There is.
Because it's just so many shows get so bad at some point, and you're just like, can't do it, man. Can't do it again.
A ton of them does.
Yeah.
Let's see, what did I have to go here? We were going to go to, that was the top 5. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubbapink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Alrighty.
Fueled by Overkink.com and Royal 13, the brand.
That's right.
With the brand Royal 13.
What was that? What was the toy again? Did you know the name? It was a harness.
I've had. No, it was not a harness.
It was an apparatus.
The Rocks Off cocktail.
The Rock Soft cocktail.
Rocks Off.
Rocks Off.
Ain't nothing soft here, my friend.
But if you are soft, she'll still be a fucking pleasure.
Yeah, you can tap out and probably she'll just keep going.
Honey, are you done over there? I'm trying to watch the show. Trying to watch the show, man. Can you finish that up, please? I'm finished. You should be finished too.
Let's finish together.
I guess I could finish on a. It's been a while since we had a story.
Been a damn long while. I thought you were out of stories, basically.
Never out of stories. I just hold them. This story I've actually told to you off air.
Oh, good.
But never told on air. Now, and it's in the vein of I thought about it when I saw the Black Women's Appreciation Payday. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it. Today's the first day I heard it even existed, so you can't fucking tie me to a cross.
And here we are putting it in the show immediately.
That's it, man. That's what we do. We love our Black women.
Yes, we do.
So this actually stems from a time I was working at Rollins, man. I was working at Rollins, and I was working. In my opinion, it was a shit job, man. It was a shit job, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Really?
So I'm working this job, and I'm there for a total of roughly 9 years.
That has almost like Shawshank Redemption vibes.
Roughly 9 years I'm working at this place. Man.
Wait a minute. You
I
worked
know.
at Rollins for 9
but
years?
the first 3 to 4 years, I was it was a summer temp. First 3 years summer temp, but I count that.
That's
I'm
still
there
a
every
long
summer.
time, man.
Yeah, it's
At
a
9
long time.
years, man.
And I make my way up. I'm a summer temp. Then I go to a full-time employee. Then I go to like a supervisory role. So I'm moving up, and the job is you know, it's not a good job. We're underpaid. We're overworked, and I got these team of guys, and we're doing shit like, you know, we're doing events and office moves. So. And Rollins is an older campus, so 90% of their buildings just have stairs and no fucking elevators. So we have to move these big fucking billion-pound tables and desk, and I'm dead ass serious. And we have to bring them up and down stairs. We're moving this physically, like with our hands and legs, and sometimes we're doing like
No dollies?
huh?
No dollies?
Well, it's hard when you got these steep ass stairs. You don't want
Okay.
to do dollies, and if the desk is, you know, whatever.
Odd shaped.
Yeah. All right. So we're doing that day in, day out. Underworked. Overworked. Underpaid. All right. So we're rolling. My manager, at the time, he does he's doing, taking a full advantage of his job. He has things like he's taking the work trucks and he's fucking probably moving people and probably getting paid for it. He's fucking
Like moving people off campus.
yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff that he's not supposed to be doing with his job and with the keys, because he has the keys to the entire campus. He's the, you know, whatever at the time. He gets canned. All right,
Imagine that.
my manager gets canned. Now I'm also, at the time, I was doing little stuff, but my stuff was very little. Like I had the keys to the whole place, so, you know, sometimes I'll connect with our guy Juan and I'll get the gym, because I had the keys to the gym all the time, 24 hours a day. So I'll do that. I got caught one time, but, you know, it's just a little slap
So you'd
on the
let
wrist.
people into the gym to hoop it up or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the Lord's work. There's nothing wrong there.
And you know, doing different things like that. Now, my manager gets canned. I'm automatically thinking, it's my
I'm
turn.
the guy.
I've been here for
I'm the chosen one.
Yeah, I've been here for 8-9 years now.
Head coach in waiting.
Yeah. And at the time, I had graduated from Bethune.
So like when the guy got fired, were you like immediately excited?
Not really. 'Cause
Here
he
cometh
was my
the
guy.
moment. Here come the man.
You got to think about it. If he's doing
Yeah.
all of that on his own, like, he gave me full fucking reign. And
Right.
So now I'm thinking, I'm both. I'm like, damn, I had the opportunity, but also if another person gets this job, I'm fucking screwed. 'Cause
okay.
I'm taking 2-hour breaks. I'm fucking doing anything I want to do too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because he's not going to, I'm like, hey, you're not going to tell me anything. But anyway, so at the time, I've already graduated Bethune, but I've gave up my dream of being a fucking, like, sports analyst, Stephen A. Smith guy. Because being that guy, starting out, the pay is so low, you know, because I was working with the Orlando Sentinel when I first graduated from Bethune, and they were giving me like fucking $30 a story, and that's just not going to pay any bills. A lot of those guys, when they started out in the sports analyst business, they still staying with their family. Shout out to Jamil Hill, that was my fucking like hero growing up, and she was staying with her family when she was working, you know, starting out. So that's just how it goes, you know. You can't sustain. So I got out of that. And I'm like, okay, I really have no plan at this time. I have no plan.
And if
I
you
have
were
a
making
fucking college
$30 a
degree.
story, they're probably paying her $17.50.
Oh, because of the black woman disparity. So I'm here. I'm at where I was working a shit job with no plan. Right?
Yes.
Now, the good thing about working this shit job though is I'm able. The only good thing about it is I'm able to go back to school, get my master's degree, and not have to pay for it.
Okay.
Right? Only thing I had to do was pay the taxes on it, and didn't even have to do that because I wrote this elaborate fucking story about my life, and rich white people just eat that shit up. For poor black people, they probably were shedding tears and shit. And I'm a good writer, so I threw extra shit in there.
Bubba's broke the code. Do you still have a copy of the manuscript?
I think I may do, man.
You should
It's in my
distribute it
email
to other
somewhere.
people online.
So they can use
Yeah.
it. Yeah. All black people were going to Rollins, hit me up, or to PWIs, predominantly white.
I was going to say,
institutions.
stay out of Rollins.
No,
Just go
predominantly white
other
institutions.
PWIs, yeah.
Yeah, predominantly white. institutions.
Unless the administration's changed at Rollins. You don't want to, boy, this looks real familiar.
This looks real
Sounds just
familiar.
like a story from about 10 years ago.
So I'm there with no plan, but I'm going back to school to get get my master's degree. I get my master's degree the same time my manager gets canned.
Oh,
So now I'm at this place. I've been working there for 9 years. I have a master's degree. There's no fucking way I don't get this job. Right? So time goes, and there's a guy who he's same level as me, but he's working he just works in a different department, but he's the same level. He has
Okay.
people under him. I have people under me. And I find out he's going for the job too, so we're both vying for this job.
Uh-oh.
The difference is this guy just got here 6 months ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right, and he's a Hispanic guy. A lot of the people that work for us is Hispanic.
Okay.
Okay, but I've been working with these Hispanic people for 9 fucking years. I know these people. They know me. They're like my fucking uncles and aunties. All right, so I don't even get a fucking interview.
Really?
I don't even get an interview for this role.
So you put your hat in the ring and applied.
Yes.
Nothing. They just don't even call you.
They don't even call me. The director, he looks the other way when I walk past.
Oh,
I've never been more pissed in my fucking life.
really?
I'm
Okay.
at the top level of Bubba can be pissed that I can possibly be.
Even more so than Ben Simmons.
Oh man, yes.
Oh, wow. I'm shocked.
Much more.
I'm shocked.
I always hate when this does this. I think I'm clicking something wrong. And yes. Okay. So what happens is I just do all on a professional sense of terms. I say I got 2 ways to do this, right? I can fucking do it the hood black way and just fucking go upstairs and just cuss everybody the fuck out and go the fuck out because I've been here for 9 years working a shit job, and now a good opportunity comes up. You motherfuckers don't even look to interview me and just fucking go out on top and get fired that way. I could do that. Or I could do it the way I know how to do, and I do it. I'm fucking writing letters to the president of the college. I write a letter to fucking HR. I'm going up to HR. I'm like, hey, I'm the only black motherfucker. I didn't say it exactly like that, but we're not interviewing black people for this job. Is that what we're not doing? And you got to think about it. This is Rollins. Is a predominantly white institution. First, you mention that.
I've got Ben Crump on speed dial.
Red alarms go off. We got a bad black man saying he's not getting, he's calling racism. So I got that going. And, so I got the letter to the president going. I got a letter to HR going. I'm meeting with HR. I don't even go to my directors. I'm just trying to bypass him. And my it's another manager that's there. He's kind of he's an older black guy. He's always trying to calm me down. Shout out my guy Lester. And, we're talking every day. He's like, yo, you don't even want this fucking job. You don't want it. Stay away. What are you doing? You just graduated. You got your master's. You don't want this. Why do you want this? And it's the principal. I've been here for fucking 9 years. Why are they not even going to interview me? Director, lets Lester know, like, hey, can you bring him up? Tell him to come up, whatever, at this X time. So I go in there, and he's like, man, so I, of course I've heard that, you went to President so-and-so at the time and HR, and that you really want this position. And I said, yeah, I've been here for 9 years, and this is not. He said, well, I felt that this guy was the other supervisor at the time, Chris. I'll just fucking say his name. And I felt like he was a better fit for his role because he's Hispanic, and a lot of our associates are, a lot of our workers are Hispanic.
Okay.
And I said, well, do you know if I can speak Spanish or not? Say, no, I do not know. Well, I say, well, you're going to hire someone that's the point of the interview. Knowing what I'm capable of.
You should have just carried on a response in Spanish. You should have just went complete Spanish the rest of the way.
And I say, and also, I've been working with these people for 9 years, these exact people. We haven't, these people don't change. Those people are still there.
Right. They're still there now. You're the only one that's moved on.
These people don't change. These are the same people that have been for 9 years. I've been carrying on conversations for 9 years with these exact same people. And I have that tone with them because I'm fucking up to here, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, just calm down. And can you open my door, please? I'm not gonna hit you, man. I just want to know why do I not even get an interview? I say, did you not want a black person in this role? And
he basically already said he didn't.
I mean,
he wanted. He did.
Yeah.
He said, I preferred a better fit. It was a Spanish guy.
Yeah,
He told you that.
But. So whatever. He hires Chris, basically just disregards my entire meeting. But he had already hired him.
Yeah.
So
there's nothing you can do now.
Nothing I could do. Nothing could be done by then. And Chris and I'm fucking heated. So at the time, I feel like it's fucking. He's like throwing little jabs at me or whatever. But he's
the Chris guy.
Yeah, the Chris guy. And he's like, he's just saying little shit like, oh, you didn't get it, did you? But this was before it was announced. Like you
but he knew he got
it.
Oh, that's petty.
That's
petty.
The next week he comes in, he got a brand new car. It's just a lot of different other shit. He takes one of my guys that was on my team, and he makes him a supervisor on his team. It's different shit, and so at the time I'm at the upper level. We're still doing the show at the time. We're doing the show on the radio.
That's what Rollins.
And my cousin calls from Atlanta, and that's when that whole Atlanta thing sprung about.
Okay.
And I just, like I said, I fucking left everything right then and there. That day that he called.
Yeah.
I left, didn't give a fucking notice.
Just no
I
shit.
left my house. Like I said, my apartment that I had. I didn't fucking care how long I had.
You were just out.
I was just fucking out.
That's
funny. Pink, I gotta go, man. So I gotta end the show next week.
That's funny.
And that was it, man. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because if I get in that job, now that goes to show you how underpaid I was because that job was paying like $45,000 a year.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was my fucking dream.
That was it. Yeah.
That was it for me.
Yeah.
And, I go on a couple years later to make, whatever, my first 6-figure year. And it's like, if I'm stuck in that job, it's no,
You might be at 48 right now.
might be at fucking 48 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just like, I don't know. I guess they're saying that everything that's for you will be for you. And that if it's not for you or whatever that.
Yeah. But I think deep down you knew you didn't really want that job.
Yeah.
But it was the slight, and they did the wrong thing.
Yeah, it was the slight.
You deserved an interview.
Yeah.
And if they legitimately had some sort of concern that a Spanish manager or supervisor was going to be a better fit, like that's what you find out in the interview process.
Yeah.
That's why you interview people.
Exactly.
There's no harm in interviewing people. Like it's all knowledge, it's information. And to fail to do that, you're really a disservice. They should just fire the entire administration at Rollins today.
What in that department?
Yeah.
Don't fire. Yeah, because I got a couple. I got a couple ladies up there still. Well, one is not up there anymore.
I thought this was going to circle back to unequal pay for black women. We lost that.
Well, they are black women that work there. They might be the only two.
I thought the story was going to go to that.
No.
As far as we know, they're fairly compensated. Or from your lack of interview, we could presume that they're grossly underpaid. Perhaps even less than 58%.
I know, right? You know, at my current job, one thing I like that we do, they interview every single internal.
Really?
If it's an internal candidate applying for a position, they interview every last single one of them.
Really?
Even if they feel like their resume is not a good fit.
Not even close to being what's required.
Well, it has to be somewhere in the same arena.
Well, you're saying they interview everybody.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, like 99%.
There's got to be a line somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fucking apply for a directive. A warehouse role.
6 months on the job.
But
I think I'm up for director. I've got what it takes.
But we interview A for morale, B for the experience, for the interviewing experience.
Yes.
Because not everyone interviews well.
Yeah.
So you take that opportunity, you interview a couple of times, and now you know what to expect. You know what questions to expect. You know how to respond and answer to them because we give them interview feedback as well.
I remember a long time ago when we were back at Rollins, and you were talking about an interview you had, and they asked you like what piece of what in a living room would you be?
Yeah, that's crazy. Remember that? Yeah.
Oh God, it was such a bad answer.
USF.
Yeah, but it was such a bad answer. It jumped out.
I
was
said,
like, why would you say that?
I think I said a lawn chair. It was something I said.
And it was like the most irrelevant thing you could be in the room.
But it's
and I was like,
what,
it didn't speak to like any aspiration or anything that you were going to bring to the table. It literally said, if we hire this guy, he's just going to essentially sit there.
But it's such a fucking crazy question to ask.
But it's not if you think about it.
To this day, I haven't heard it again.
Yeah, but if you think about it, what they're really asking is your vision. That's what they're asking.
My brain doesn't comprehend that, even as you just said it.
Yeah.
What? Like what? Like what?
Based on how you respond to that. If you went the route that you go, you basically plug yourself in as this is just a zero guy. Like he's not terrible. But he's not going to add anything.
But that's a question you need to let somebody know beforehand.
No, because then you fabricate your answers.
It's not fabricate, but that's you asking a next level question on the fly because we're going from what was your last job?
That's where like visionaries are found.
But that's not that type of position. I'm not applying to be the fucking
the director.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here?
You find out. Like that's the thing. Like you can ask a question like that, and if you get a right answer, it's going to reveal something about the person that's going to change your perception of what they can be. And you'll be hiring for a mid or lower level position that ostensibly may not have a lot of growth, but if you see somebody there in that level and you see something special, then you can fast track them to something different.
Yeah.
And that's all. I mean, like when you get to any job, you want to create that perception that you're bigger than the position you're in.
Yeah.
And that they're happy to have you. So
it is hilarious that Overkink just commented on our live.
Yeah.
And she hardly ever watches the show. But she catches it because her main argument is that Kevin isn't funny. She always says that.
She saw the preview and knew you were going to come at this. So she's ready. I thought she was going to comment on the toy.
I know, right? She 9 times out of 10 she probably missed that part. and she missed that part. But that's fine.
That's too funny.
Make sure we get that in the IG clip so she can see it.
Yeah.
For all of our
loyal listeners, man.
Yeah.
That's funny, though. Oh, man. I love that. That was good stuff with the interview. But that is like opportunities that come your way.
Yeah.
And that opportunity could have been a trap.
It was.
And you avoided it.
Yeah.
Credit to racism.
As one time
a rare victory.
I benefited from racism.
A rare victory from racism.
I benefited from racism. Yeah, man, for sure.
It doesn't happen often. But that's too funny.
All righty, well that's well.
You had something else?
Let me get my. I'll do my best. Bets here.
Oh yeah, you forgot about them.
I had a terrible week last week.
What took the over?
A 1 for 3. Now shout out
1 for 3.
Oh, did I go
thought
over?
I thought you only do 3 bets.
Yeah. One for 3.
Oh, 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
And
One and 2.
You were 2 and 1 week 1, so you're 3 and 3 for the season.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was tracking.
And shout out to Dooley, who we repost his Dooley predictions, the NFL guru. He went 3-0.
Did he?
He went 3-0. So he's a whopping.
Maybe you just need to shut up and not.
Well, he is the
You're out here
NFL
misguiding the people.
Do I even? Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, I might have misguided. But the thing about it, people, is you got to just pack your bags up and move on to next week.
Recap what you did. You took.
I took the over last week. I took the over, and that was my best. That was the number one bet.
And I felt best about that one.
You felt best. That was the Minnesota and Minnesota Vikings and Eagles game.
Okay.
Minnesota did not show up to the arena, so that hurt my over.
Yeah.
All right. Eagles did their part, but yeah.
And then you didn't you take the Titans against the Bills?
The Titans against the Bills.
And they got mollywopped.
That didn't
go well. And what was the other one?
The other one was the
Did you take San Francisco or you took the?
I took no, it was another big spread. It was 49ers.
Yeah, the San
49ers
Francisco.
Yeah.
Same team.
No, my fault. So that was the one that I won.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This week, this is a new week, people.
New week, new Bubba.
New week, new Bubba.
What do you got?
I'm a trends guy.
We've heard this now for 2 weeks.
You want to stay with the trends, but sometimes if the trends are misleading you, you just got to go with your heart, man. Colts versus Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs opened up at 6.5 favorites. Colts have gotten off to a bad start.
They have. No one's disputing that.
The line has gotten bet down to 5.5. That's alarming. That means the smart money is coming in on the Colts. All right. The Colts are 5-2 all time against Andy Reid coach teams. All right. Including the 2-1 mark against this current team. All right. I'm going to take the Titans +6.
The Titans aren't in the game.
I mean, I'm going to take the Colts. I'm taking the Colts +6 in this game.
Okay.
Taking the Colts +6 against the Chiefs. The Colts are home.
You just can't stop taking the Titans.
Fuck the Titans, man.
Remember the Titans.
You gotta remember. Yeah, I'm gonna remember your ass. All right. God damn it. That's my first bet. All right.
All right. Going
Okay.
against the squad.
Going against the squad.
That always ends well.
The next one, Dolphins Bills. I'm hopping back on the train. I'm taking Miami Dolphins +6 at home.
Really?
I'm hopping back on the train. Okay. Sometimes the train leaves you, as you could tell by my some of my previous stories. But you get the schedule and you find out when it's coming back, and you get there on time. And we're going to be on time this time. I'm taking Miami +6 at home, but I'm going to wait because I'm going to wait to game time. I'm going to hope for 6.5 or 7. Okay.
Okay.
That's bet number 2.
I don't like either one of these.
I'm sure you don't. All right. Now, the last and final bet, okay, is I am going to take the Chargers over the Jaguars -7. Chargers are at home. All right. The Jaguars are just coming off a huge win against those sorry-ass Colts that I just took, 24-0. And the Chargers are coming off a disappointing loss against the Chiefs. All right, not so much disappointing, but they had that win in the basket. All right.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it.
That's what I'm going to do.
I like the Chargers. I think they'll be better. I think they'll win that. I don't think the Jags will respond to going cross country and playing in what might be a meaningful game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm
with you on that one, not the others.
I'm scared of the Colts pick because they might just be a fucking terrible team.
They might be.
You know?
Matt Ryan's never recovered from 28-3. They haven't really been able to get the running game going with Taylor.
No.
I don't know.
But I'm going to stand firm.
Sounds good.
That's the show this week, folks.
All right. We're out. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.